us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. By PNC, leading the way. By Southwest Airlines. Want to see what a real airline is like? Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. By your Toyota dealer, where quality, dependability, and good MPG all come standard. Toyota, moving forward. And by Geico Insurance. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO.
Welcome back to PNC Park with Bob Walk. I'm Tim Neverett. A little bit wet tonight, but getting ready for baseball. Dodgers manager Joe Torre sends out this lineup tonight, brought to you by Southwest. Rafael Furcal, Juan Pierre on the 2 spot, Manny Ramirez third. Matt Kemp has set new career highs in home runs and runs batted in. Ronnie Belliard, Mark Loretta, Russell Martin behind the plate tonight. Orlando Hudson at second base, and Randy Wolf batting ninth and doing the pitching. Behind Paul Maholm in the field, Millage, McCutchen, and Garrett Jones in right field. LaRoche, Cruz, and Young, along with Steve Pearce on the infield. And Ryan Doman catching Paul Maholm. Ronnie Cedeno still out with soreness in the hamstrings. He's got a right hamstring injury and then kind of tweaked the left one when overcompensating, dealing with the right one. Well, Furcal, base hit to left. He might try for 2. And Furcal on his way to second. Here's the throw by Millage, and Furcal is gone. A rifle shot from left fielder Lastings Millage, gunning down Rafael Furcal.
Furcal maybe overestimating his speed a little bit with nobody out. This is kind of risky. With 2 outs, okay, no big deal, but there's the replay. He's checking out, see where the throw is, and because of that, he messed up his turn at first. He wasn't quite sure where the bag was.
And a strike call to Ron Pierre, so Furcal is out, and that is the Pirates' major league leading 45th outfield assist.
That was a nice play by Millage because of the conditions out there tonight. It's got to be real slippery, and he had to throw the brakes on, pick up the ball, and then get some momentum going the opposite direction to make that strong throw. That's an excellent play.
2 balls and a strike. Let's take a look at Bob's tips to win, presented by Rivers Casino.
Well, the first one deals with what we just saw. Well, the second one, and that's dealing with this weather and playing good defense. And Maholm, as we talked a little bit in the open, he's got a good month going here. The last month, September, he would love to finish off on a little bit of a roll. It's been an up and down year for him. Plus, Paul's still got a chance to finish at or above 500 this year. He's able to plant that foot and make a strong throw, and that could not be easy considering how wet that outfield has to be. I mean, it's rained just continually all day until just about an hour ago.
2-2 to Pierre. This one to right center field. And this should be extra bases for Pierre. He's going to look for 3. And Juan Pierre is going to be in with a 1-out triple. The 4th triple of the season for Pierre.
Earlier I mentioned that it's a risk with nobody out to try to get to second base and 2 outs. I can understand that. Well, this is the reason why. With nobody out, you got a chance to get an inning going. So don't make an out on the bases. Next guy might hit a double. Well, in this case, Pierre, the next guy, hits a triple. So that's a huge play now with Furcal getting thrown out, trying to stretch his single. And Pierre, boy, he still runs as well as anybody, doesn't he? Man, he gets around the bases.
Catches that inside corner of the bag in stride. Now Manny Ramirez looking to drive in a run. One out, Pierre at third. Ramirez 0 for last night in game one. And he will drive in a run with this one as McCutchen goes back, and he will not make the catch. It's a ground rule double, and it's 1-0 Los Angeles. So a single, a triple, and a double out of the first three Dodger hitters.
Yeah, well, we're not talking about any cheap hits either. All three of these hits have been hit hard.
Ramirez drives in his 62nd run.
What a classic swing Ramirez has. I have a lot of opinions about him. You can say a lot of different things, but one thing is a fact. The man can hit.
So Ramirez at second and Matt Kemp at the plate. He's hit safely in 15 of his last 16 games. As far as Kemp is concerned, new career highs with 26 home runs and even 100 RBIs. He leads Los Angeles with 49 multi-hit games. He's also third in the National League in steals with 34, so he can run. 1-0 pitch. It's 2-0 to Matt Kemp.
He's become a monster. A true force in this league now. When you look at what he's done on offense, and as you just mentioned, those steals and mix those in. I mean, he plays center field, which is a premier defensive position out there.
And with Pierre in the lineup tonight, he'll move over to right and put Andre Ethier on the bench.
I mean, this is a great player. Probably not a lot of people realize.
Just to try to put things in perspective with his batting average where it is and all the other numbers, he is trying to become the first Dodger in franchise history to finish the season with a 300 average, 25 homers or better, 100 RBIs or better, and 34 steals or better. And this one in the air to right center. McCutchen will grab it. And there are 2 outs. But consider the history of the Dodgers and the number of great players they have had go through there. They've never had a guy pile up numbers like Matt Kemp has this year.
Yeah, we're not talking about an expansion team. They've been around long time.
And that includes the Brooklyn Dodgers as well as Los Angeles. Kemp had the green light 3-0, and he flies out. And here is Ronnie Belliard playing at third base. Originally, Belliard was in the lineup at second, and Orlando Hudson was going to get this game off. Casey Blake was the original starting third baseman, but Joe Torre decided to scratch Casey Blake, move Belliard to third, and put Hudson back in the lineup.
Belliard, one of the pieces the Dodgers picked up here in the second part of the season, make their push.
The Sporting News this week named Joe Torre the manager of the decade. He is on the verge of taking his team to the postseason for the 14th straight year. Belliard got some of this one, but Millage will finish the play right in front of the warning track. A run comes in on 3 hits. Dodgers leave a man 1-0 after a half inning. after the G20 has left town. How about the Pirates' batting order? Brought to you by PNC. Andy LaRoche. He's been getting on base, hitting safely in 9 of his last 10 games, and has been hitting the ball well against his former team, the Dodgers. Delwyn Young and Luis Cruz, the double play combination. Cruz again starting for Ronnie Cedeno. Randy Wolf has this defense behind him. Manny Ramirez in left. Juan Pierre in center. Matt Kemp, the right fielder tonight. Elliott at third. For Call, the shortstop. Hudson at second. And Mark Loretta playing first base. And Russell Martin doing the catching for the left-hander Wolf.
Take a look here at Wolf's numbers. We've had 11 chances at this guy over the years, and we've only beat him once. So we're due.
Randy Wolf has been tough. 33-year-old, a Southern California native from Canoga Park. And McCutcheon takes ball one. 5'10", 202. Pitched for the Phillies for a long time. Has also pitched for the Padres in Houston, both in the same season in 2008. He was fairly popular in Philadelphia. 2-0 pitch. And this one, 2 for Call. He gets McCutcheon, 1 down. Batter will be Andy LaRoche.
Yeah, they used to have, what was the Wolf Pack or something?
They had the Wolf Pack, and they had, wolf masks that they'd wear when he'd pitch.
Like werewolves.
Or in his case, Randy Wolves.
Randy Wolves. Wolves. They're not wolves, they're wolves.
That's the sound they make. Well, the first pitch to LaRoche is popped up. Right field. Matt Kemp takes care of it, and 2 men are out. Joe Torre, the skipper of the Dodgers. A lot of success around baseball. Most recently with the Yankees. Been a manager for 28 seasons. He's won 4 World Series. In 2 seasons with the Dodgers, he's won nearly 56% of his games. And Joe Torre, manager of the decade, according to the Sporting News.
Managed the Mets, Braves, Cardinals. I don't think I'm missing any. I think that
along with
completes
the Yankees and Dodgers. Garrett Jones with 20 home runs. His average has been impressive too. It hasn't really gone away from that 300 mark. Sometimes guys get off to a hot start and they can't sustain it, but Jones has been able to sustain it, hitting .302 coming into the ball game tonight.
Yeah, his first month in the big leagues, everybody was, waiting for the wheels to come off. They never have.
He goes down the left field line. Jones hustling, and he will head into second base with a 2-out double. Another extra base hit for Garrett Jones. That's his 20th double of the season. So 20 doubles, 20 home runs for Garrett Jones.
Yeah, the game that you always like to play when you have somebody that puts up a half year like he has is you double everything. You double everything he's got. And, well, that's an impressive season.
If you doubled it, 40 home runs, 40 doubles. But he wouldn't be hitting .604, would he?
Oh, why not?
Here's Ryan Domit. Domit, the pride of Moses Lake, Washington. Switch hitting catcher facing Randy Wolf. Strike 2 call.
Like a little inside.
I'm sure that Domit would agree with your opinion of that pitch.
He would. Yeah, well, I'm going to say it again. That looked like it was a little inside. But he's got one left.
And it's a comebacker to Wolf. That should take care of Domit. And the Pirates get a hit, leave a man through a full inning. Randy Wolf and the Dodgers a 1-0 lead. Singing the national anthem tonight. An outstanding job. They will perform live here at PNC Park after the game on Sky Blast night. Crowd continuing to fill in here.
They did do a fantastic job with this national anthem. That was a great thing to listen to.
And Mark Loretta shoots this one out into right field for a leadoff single. And the drummer for Foreigner, Brian Tichy, feels like the first time. Whoa, maybe the very first time.
A little two-seamer. See the movement. Nice first pitch. A little something on it.
So the veteran Mark Loretta at first ball swinging. And here is Russell Martin, Dodger catcher. Down to third. LaRoche backhands to Young for one. Double play. Boy, Loretta nearly sent Young into left field, but he hung in there and made a nice turn.
Yeah, we talked about the weather and who's going to play the best defense. Right now, Pirates are playing great defense. This is not an easy one to get two on. Around the horn. Delwyn Young is really getting comfortable out of second.
Loretta with that roll slide to the inside. He tried to break up that double play and didn't do it. For DY, former Dodger, taking the throw from another former Dodger, Andy LaRoche. So 2 down for Orlando Hudson. Let's look at this again. So nice, you want to see it twice.
Oh, look at that turn, and it wasn't all that easy. I mean, he had no time. Loretta was all over him because it was just a chopper down to third base. So anything but a routine turn.
Mark Loretta, he knows how to play this game. So as they call him in Los Angeles, the O-Dog, Orlando Hudson. 3 balls and no strikes. 1 out of 3 in last night's ball game. And it's now 3-1. Mulholland comes back to fill up the count. He hits in that 8th spot, Bob, but he is one of the guys you could consider the big 3 in terms of multi-hit games. He's 3rd on the team with 41 of them, trailing Kemp, who has 49, and Andre Ethier, who has 47.
Definitely a quality big league player. No matter where he's at in that lineup.
To center field, and on the run, McCutcheon. He grabs it, and the Dodgers are done in the 2nd. Good inning for Paul Mulholland, and the Bucks keyed by the double play.
first. It looked like it was either McCutcheon out in center field or Cruz, the shortstop. And they saw the ball the best, but McCutcheon, that's impressive because he's so far away. That ball was probably just clearing Maholm's head when he made his first move to go back on that ball. Quite an impressive outfielder.
He told us early on, once he came up, that the way that he positions himself, the ball, if it gets over his head, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a home run. But he can run him down. Souvenir. He's a McCutcheon fan.
With the jersey on. There's going to be a whole lot of those in the stands over the next few years.
Lasting's Millage waits on the breaking ball. Wolf throwing. And a terrific play at first base by Loretta.
My goodness. I mean, you won't see a pitcher make a better play than that.
Good play all the way around.
Man. Wow, that might be one of the, could be the best play I have ever seen a pitcher make. Nice pick, but I mean, that first baseman already gets paid to do that kind of stuff. I mean, that was
so you expect that out of him?
Yeah. But for a pitcher to come over there and be falling the other way and just kind of like a blind toss.
Steve Pearce to right field. Kemp on it. 2 down. Steve Pearce wasn't at the plate for very long. And here comes Delwyn Young. Now switch hitting infielder. With that right-handed against the lefty Wolf. We were talking about Wolf and talking about Foreigner earlier, but there is a musical connection with Randy Wolf. He bought a house in the Hollywood Hills from the guitarist from Guns N' Roses, Slash. I wonder what kind of condition that house was in when he got there.
Those walls could tell stories.
1-1. And Delwyn Young will foul this one away. A long way out of play. See, we're seeing the boat traffic without
no more patrol.
the G20.
We saw boat traffic.
But
patrol boats going up and down.
It reminded me of Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, it was like gunships going up and down the river for the last 2 days.
Now the Majestic's back out there and everything's back to normal. Good to see.
Yeah, things are quiet over across the river.
The Japanese Prime Minister was here last night, and we were sitting up watching the motorcade come across from the south side. And I think the entire motorcade was the length of the bridge. A lot of sirens. Foul ball to right. Count 1 and 2. Ball and 2 strikes to Delwyn Young. Young from Hacienda Heights, California. 1-2 pitch. Did he go? Yes, he did, says Field & Culbreth. And Young strikes out. A 10-pitch inning for Randy Wolf. And after 2, the Dodgers up 1-0.
Automotive. We're going to make your day.
Well, we take a look at this day in Pirates history, brought to you by Day Automotive, September 26, 1992. Lloyd McClendon hit his second career grand slam off New York's Eric Hillman as the Pirates won 19-2. I worked with Eric last year. Eric Hillman, big tall left-hander. He was the one that hit Barry Bonds on the elbow, and Barry finally said enough's enough, and he put the armor on. He was the last guy to hit Barry before Barry started wearing that elbow pad. 1-1. 2 balls and a strike to Randy Wolf. Wolf at the plate this year, 6 for 22, 2 doubles, a home run, 5 runs batted in. Over the last 9 starts, and this one fouled back. All in all, he has 4 doubles on the season. With his 11 runs batted in, he's tied his career high that he set in 2003 with the Phillies. And that one right to the chest of Steve Pearce for the out. This Monday, the Pirates will take on the Dodgers in the final home game of the season. It's a 12:35 matinee game, business person special. Plus, it's Alumni Autograph Day, where you can meet former Pirates Sid Bream, John Candelaria, and Dave Justy before the game in the Trip Total Media Hall of Fame Club. Also, all fans will get a 2010 magnetic schedule courtesy of PNC. For tickets, visit Pirates.com. It's nice to come to the last game of 2009 and get the schedule for the 2010 season. You make your plans early. If you're looking ahead to the holidays, certain season ticket packages, all of them really would make great gifts. And you'll be able to see which games you want to attend during the course of the 2010 season. Pirates actually open at home against these Dodgers.
Paul right now is the second time through the lineup. He needs to make a few adjustments. Just gave up that 1 run, but there is a number of balls, including the last one by the pitcher, that were hit very hard. And usually when that happens, Paul is just getting the ball up and out over the plate. And when he comes upstairs, he needs to get the ball in on the right-handers especially. But most of the time, he needs to stay down around the knees or lower.
Count is full to Rafael Furcal. Furcal 1 for 1. He singled, tried to stretch it to a double, and then was gunned down by Lasting's Millage for the game's first out. To LaRoche, nifty backhand, and Furcal is gone.
That's what we like to see. A lot more of those, a lot of ground balls from Paul. And, you know, I say, oh, he needs to make an adjustment, needs to start keeping the ball down, you know, this and that. And it sounds really easy. Well, obviously, he was trying to do that from the first pitch he threw of the game, so it's not that easy. I mean, he's not out there trying to throw balls elevated out over the plate. He's trying to make pitches inside on right-handers. He's trying to get the ball down around the knees, get his ground balls, but he just hasn't accomplished that with any kind of regularity yet.
0-1 to Pierre. This one into the center field area, but waiting for it is Luis Cruz.
Nice quick inning.
Good inning for Paul Maholm and the Bucks. He only threw 13 pitches. Pirates postgame. Catch another great Pac-10 showdown on FSN. The USC Trojans look to rebound from a shocking upset loss last week when they host conference rival Washington State tonight, 10:30, right here on FSN. Bob Walk, Tim Neverett, bottom of the third inning, 1-0 Dodgers. Luis Cruz takes strike one. Cruz has been starting recently. He started the last 4 games, the last 3 at shortstop, and started at second base also. John Russell not wanting to send Ronnie Cedeno out there with the wet conditions, with his hamstrings in the shape they're in. And this one to the right field corner. And Cruz will round first and head for second. He'll have a ground rule double.
Well, it's got to make Cruz feel good that right here at the end of the year, when the starter goes down, he's the guy that's picked to go out there every day. That tells Cruz going into the offseason that he would be in the plans for utility job.
First extra base hit of the season for Luis Cruz.
As a player, you're always looking at little stuff like that, trying to find out where you stand. And you read the handwriting on the wall. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not.
Mulholland takes a strike, throw back down to second, and they got him. Russell Martin fires one down there to Furcal, and Cruz is caught.
Very strong throw. I'm wondering if Cruz maybe turned his shoulders a little bit. Watch him, see if he stays parallel or if he turns his upper body toward third. Man, ever so slightly. Wasn't much.
So now Mulholland's got to swing away, and it's 0-2. So how an inning can change on one throw of a baseball.
I gotta give that to Russell Martin.
Mulholland hits this one over the dugout.
Sometimes the base runners, as they're getting their lead, and that bunter bunts through the ball. And he did turn a little bit more on that replay there. You can see the hips start to turn, the shoulders start to turn toward third. That's what that catcher really is going to look for. He sees that, he's going to fire it down there.
And Mulholland will have to run out. The drop third strike. Strikeout 2-3, the putout. And there are now 2 away.
But you're assuming that bunt is going to be put down. You see the pitch going right down the middle. And so you're trying to get a good jump. You're starting to turn. And then it doesn't get touched and you're hung out to dry.
Russell Martin erases the tying run. I mean, he just saw so much daylight in between Furcal and Cruz. Furcal was almost at the bag already, and he just elected to gun it down there.
Yeah, Furcal, he's going to be standing at the bag bunt situation. He's going to just be standing right there unless they have a will play on.
Andrew McCutchen, 1 ball, no strikes. He is 0 for 1, grounded out 2 Furcal at short in the first inning. McCutchen hitting .277. Three balls, no strikes. Now, Randy Wolf is in an interesting situation. His older brother, Jim, is a major league umpire.
Can't be behind the plate, though, I don't think.
No, that's the understanding, is that regardless of the rotation, if he happens to be in a series with Randy pitching, he cannot be the home plate umpire. They have to change the umpire rotation to accommodate that. Jim not on the crew here. Field and Culbreth behind the plate. Brian O'Nora, Adrian Johnson, and the crew chief, Gary Cedarstrom. Full count pitch. And a high chopper and a chance for McCutchen. Throw by Belliard, got him. Oh my, what a play by Ronnie Belliard. Just barely nipping Andrew McCutchen at first base. Superb bare hand play by the Dodger third baseman. And the Pirates are done in the third.
apparel.com. Definitely worth the click. And by Aflac, we've got you under our wing.
Back here at PNC Park, top of the fourth inning, 1-0 Los Angeles. And Manny Ramirez the leadoff. Slight delay as a ball came from the right field stands. Garrett Jones retrieves it, throws it back up there. Manny Ramirez, who is the mayor of Mannywood. At Dodger Stadium in left field, there's a sign on the outfield wall. It's for Manny. It says Mannywood. And in this day and age of baseball, Bob, when you look at the advertisements that are out on the outfield walls, and that's a super look for that young man. But, I mean, they kept a premium ad space away from a potential advertiser and put up Mannywood in left field.
Well, they do love him in Los Angeles. That's a fact. You can't argue that.
He sells a lot of hats like that youngster was just showing us. 3 balls and no strikes to Ramirez. There it is. This is another. Strike 1. Well, Manny Ramirez, when you look at his numbers, just absolutely outstanding over the course of his career. One of the all-time leaders in runs batted in. He is 19th on the career RBI list, 1,786. He's 15th on baseball's all-time home run list, 546 career home runs. He's just 2 shy of Mike Schmidt's 548. So he should catch Mike Schmidt before this season is over.
I would think.
Payoff pitch. Ball 4 to Manny Ramirez. So the Dodgers have the leadoff man aboard. Let's take a look at our Aflac trivia question. Joe Torre is 14th in Dodgers history with 176 wins. Which manager has the most wins in Dodgers history?
I'll say Walter.
You're going to guess Walter Alston?
Be my guess.
He was there an awful long time. He might have just piled up those wins just by being there for so long. See, now he's found the camera. Yeah. There you go. Will the real Manny Ramirez please stand up?
I think that might be him right there. He needs to get some pine tar on that other hat.
I don't think he has enough. 1-0 to Matt Kemp. 2 balls and no strikes. Let's see, players that came from other organizations other than Boston don't have the pine tar all over the hat. You don't see that on Kemp. He came up as a Dodger. But when you look at Ramirez's helmet, it's just loaded with pine tar. Doug Mankiewicz also, who is on the bench for the Dodgers, was here in Pittsburgh last year. Went through Boston. Now he does that pine tar thing. I mean, it adds almost another layer of thickness on the helmet.
Astro's always big on that. National like that. Biggio used to just cover his helmet in pine tar.
A towering fly ball. Caught by McCutchen. Ramirez gives it a look. What a throw.
Yeah. A lot of guys started that pine tar stuff because they, years ago they did the speed up rules where they didn't allow them to go put the pine tar on their bats. Once you're up there, you can't go back to the beyond deck circle. So they started putting pine tar in other places so they could get some on their hands. And one of the spots that guys started loading up was on their helmet. So all they have to do is go up and touch their helmet, and boom, they got. So actually the pine tar rag is now their helmet, and that was one of the original reasons why you saw the black dark ring of pine tar up the handle. It was a place for guys. You'll see them as they're standing up there at the plate. They'll run their hand up, and both of them and get some pine tar off the middle part of the bat, as they're not allowed anymore to go back and reapply with the speed up rules that they implemented years ago. They changed that rule. Used to, guys could go back and they would use that stick, they'd get that and put that on there. Umpires won't let them do that now. You have to stay up the plate.
Belliard takes low. 2 balls, no strikes. Belliard came over from the Washington Nationals. And on August 31st against the Arizona Diamondbacks became the 4th Los Angeles Dodger to homer in his first at bat with the team since Gary Ingram did it in 1994 against Colorado. He also homered against the Pirates when the Bucks were in Los Angeles in the 3rd game of the series, that Wednesday afternoon game 2 Wednesdays ago. Hit it off Phil Dumatra. 3-0 to Belliard. 1 out. Ramirez the runner at first. And he gets the strike on the corner. Mark Loretta out on deck. Here's Mahalam's 3-1. A little number left side. Mahalam will try to make a play, and he pulls Pierce off the bag.
That was that play that we saw Wolf pull off. Mahalam took a little extra time to stay upright and get his feet set so he could make a better throw, but didn't make a better throw. It went wide. Pierce has to leave the bag to go get it, keep it from going down into the corner.
Looking at his hand, do you suppose he wants to examine the grip?
A little wet grass, probably. Ball might have been a little slippery.
So Mahalam gives up the hit. 5th hit for the Dodgers. 1st and 2nd, 1 out. Loretta had a base hit to right first time up, and now he tries to go to left field, and he's got a base hit there. Ramirez will come around 3rd. He will score, throw to 3rd, and in safely is Belliard. Loretta the RBI, and the Dodgers lead it 2-0.
The last things would have been better served to throw this ball into second base. There's only 1 out. He would like to keep double play in order. Now, if he gets this hop and fires to second, Loretta's got to throw on the brakes. And, as you can see there was no chance of getting it out at third base. That throw could have been right on the bag. He didn't have an out.
So walking Manny Ramirez backfires as he comes around to score. Russell Martin. Take outside ball 1. Martin hit into that around the horn double play in the 2nd inning.
You got a ground ball pitcher on the mound. You always have to be thinking, keep the double play in order. When there's nobody out, 1 out as an outfielder, that's got to be foremost in your mind. Don't let that hitter get an extra 90 feet, because you're making a throw that you might throw somebody out, once out of 20 times.
At the inside part of the plate that time, 1-2. And with the play right in front of him, Millage had the impression he could throw out Belliard, but you're right, you want to keep that double play in order whenever possible. And on the throw, Loretta goes down to second. Martin to short. Should get a run in.
Keeps Loretta at first base, inning's over.
3-0 Dodgers. Belliard comes across, and staying put at second was Loretta. RBI number 51 for Russell Martin. So the 2 things in the inning, the leadoff walk, and then Loretta getting to second base, have cost the Pirates.
And they're going to walk O-Dog and face the Wolf.
That's very nice.
Wolf.
How would you score that? K9?
Wolf hit a ball pretty hard last time. Careful with him. He hit a howler down the first.
Three 3-0 to Orlando Hudson. Hudson flied out to center field his first time up, and now he'll take first base, given to him by the Bucks. Well, as a thank you to our fans for their support all season long. Tomorrow is Fan Appreciation Day at PNC Park, when the Pirates will battle the Dodgers again in Game 3 of this series. Pirates will be giving away prizes all game long, such as season tickets for the 2010 season, a trip to spring training, and many more. Plus, all players will be greeting fans at the gates from noon to 12:30 before the game. Still time to get tickets at Pirates.com or by calling 1-800-BUY-BUCKS. Paul Maholm, little bite on that fastball. First and second for Los Angeles, 2 out. 0-1 pitch, breaking ball, fouled into the mitt of Ryan Doumit. Wolf lined out to Steve Pearce at first base to start the third. To the right side, Pearce to Maholm, and that'll do it for the Dodgers. They get 2 on 2 hits and leave a pair. Inning. Last half inning, we asked you our Aflac trivia question. Joe Torre is 14th in Dodgers history with 176 wins. Which manager has the most wins in Dodgers history? So your longevity has to be the key, right?
Hey, we got it.
Walter Alston, 2,040 wins. He's skippered there for 22 years. Tommy Lasorda next.
Yeah, between the two of those guys, they were at the helm a long, long time.
Yeah, 23 seasons.
All of Walter Alston's years were on a one-year contract. Never had a multi-year contract. Year at a time. Not like that anymore.
LaRoche fouls it away, 0-2. 1983. He was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. 4 World Series titles. 9th all-time in wins.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if his contract, back in those days with the O'Malleys, was just a handshake at the end of every year. Well, we'll see you back next year. Good job.
See you in Florida.
Vero Beach. Not anymore.
Well, they're in Arizona now.
Boy, that's a lot of Florida teams moved out west for spring training over the last decade.
2-2 pitch. And LaRoche gets into this one. It is high and deep, and this ball is gone! Home run, Andy LaRoche! His 10th of the season. And the Pirates on the board, it's 3-1.
Andy here at the end of the season starting to find his long ball stroke a little bit.
So LaRoche comes back and hits a home run against the team that gave up on it.
For Andy to long term be the answer at third base, that's what he has to do. He has to show a little more pop than what we saw here in his first year.
Garrett Jones, first ball swinging, fouls it away. Well, they didn't name the college after him, but it's a good coincidence.
He showed good power through the minor leagues. But the first year here of being an everyday third baseman, not so much. But lately, you can see him starting to come a little bit.
RBI number 53 for LaRoche. He now is in sole possession of the runs batted in lead on the ball club. Andrew McCutchen trails him by 1 at 52. And Jones swings and misses 1-2. With that run, 1-800-SAFE-AUTO reminds you that you're safe at home with Safe Auto. Proudly supporting the Obadiah Cole Foundation for prostate cancer screening and awareness. Early detection is the cure. 1-2 to Jones. He drives it on the ground to Hudson. Hudson tackles it, throws to first late. And Jones is aboard. I mean, Hudson tried to make an open field tackle on that baseball that was bouncing all over the place.
Well, the conditions on defense, not the best tonight, but I don't know if that had anything to do with that play. It was actually the infield dirt looks to be in pretty nice shape. Had the tarp on it all day.
LaRoche likes that the inning continues with a hit. So one run is in, a man on, nobody out, and the batter's Ryan Doman. He takes a strike. By the way, that home run that Randy Wolf gave up to LaRoche is 24th home run given up. He leads the Dodgers staff in long balls given up. Oh, 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Next closest would be John Garland, who the Pirates beat last night. Garland has given up 22. Andy LaRoche hitting a wall climber here to left.
Yeah, Ramirez does a nice job getting over there and putting a pretty good effort on making a catch. Ramirez not known as a defensive specialist for sure out of left field, but boy, that was a good effort.
It's a little different than the wall he used to patrol up north at Fenway Park. A little bit easier for him to play, too. Anything hit over his head, he just turned around. 2-2, and Billman fouls it off. Two balls and 2 strikes. Ryan Doman. Pirates trailing by 2 runs, and Doman looking for a big hit. Not going to get it here as he goes down on strikes. 2009 Pirates baseball on FSN Pittsburgh is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Want to see what a real airline is like? Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Lasting's Millage grounded back to the pitcher Wolf in the second inning. Missed off the corner. Well, you can question the judgment of Millage throwing the ball as third rather than second last inning, but all in all, recently, his glove has been getting it done for him. He's been making a number of nice plays in left field.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job out there. And that's, you know, that throw he made to third base, that's not an uncommon mistake. I see, you know, outfielders do that all the time. Some guys that have been out there for 10 years will do that same thing.
Well, oftentimes, isn't it just the fact that they see the play, they see the runner coming around second, they say, I can get him.
And they're usually wrong. But, yeah, that's what it is. They think I can throw that guy out.
Millage waits on the curveball, lines it to right, and right at Matt Kemp.
I've told this story many times. We had a center fielder in Hawaii. Oh, I can't think of his name right now. But
that was back when you were suffering in AAA, right?
Yeah. And usually when a manager would remind an outfielder, hey, you got to hit the cutoff man, you got to throw it to second, you got to keep the double play in order. The outfielder would always say, you know, okay, you know, nod his head, yes, but this is going to bug me. I'm going to have to go find this name. Trench Davis.
Trench Davis.
Yes, Trench Davis. I saw him actually say, I throw that guy out, we don't need a double play. And it was like, well, yeah, it's a good point. But, you know, they throw the guy out maybe once out of every 20 throws. So, you know, it's baseball. Got to play game average. Don't try and throw the guy out. Keep the double play in order.
Pierce taps this one toward Furcal. Furcal hustling and gets Pierce. And that's going to do it. Pirates will strand Garrett Jones at second base. They get a run on the home run by Andy LaRoche. One. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. 3-1 Dodgers, top of the fifth, and Rafael Furcal, a one hopper to Luis Cruz. One pitch and one out. I wonder if that guy used to be the Notre Dame mascot. maybe a few years back.
That's a great descendant of Redbeard, the pirate. That's
why he's here.
Pirate fan.
So welcome to Redbeard and the Redbeard family. You familiar with the Redbeard family tree?
Mm-hmm. Well,
makes one of us.
All the pirate history.
Juan Pierre, 1 ball, 1 strike. So Pierre tripled and scored in the first, and then popped out to Luis Cruz in the third, 1 for 2. We talked about his production when he was the regular left fielder when Manny Ramirez was suspended for 50 games. He did fine. Dodgers won a lot more games than they lost during that period. And he fouls this one off.
He's a different type of player, obviously, than Manny Ramirez is, but he's still a very good big league player. He gets on base. I think this year his on base percentage 370 or so, and got that great speed still.
Line drive, here comes McCutchen, and he got it! Oh my, what a play by Andrew McCutchen! They don't come much better than that on a sinking line drive.
Take a look at the jump that he gets. That's what usually makes a play like this. With Pierre, not too deep. What a catch. Man can play.
Paul Mulholland, he'll thank him more later. Look at this play. Just when you think you've seen what he has, he comes up with something else. 2 men are out, and Ramirez a base hit to left. And the way Manny runs to first base, Millage might have been able to throw him out from left field.
Yeah, he's not going to be stretching any singles into doubles. It's not his game.
So Ramirez 2 out of 2 with a walk. Now Matt Kemp, cleanup hitter, 0 for 2. He's flying out to McCutchen twice. But what a play by Andrew McCutchen. I have a feeling we'll be seeing that again.
There'll be a few highlights in this game.
Ground ball to third. Or should go the short way. Owen Young holds the bag and forces Ramirez there. But Andrew McCutchen with a defensive gem off the bat of Juan Pierre, taking a base hit away. Middle of the fifth, 3-1 Los Angeles. Redbeard family.
Looks like Johnny Depp.
Captain Jack.
You have heard of me.
Yes. His reputation preceded him. 2-0 to Delwyn Young. Bob Walk, Tim Neverett here at PNC Park. Bottom of the 5th inning. Dodgers 3 runs on 7 hits. The Pirates a run on 4 hits. A bouncer to short. Outfield for a call takes care of Delwyn Young, and there is 1 away. Well, the World Cup of Baseball, we've been keeping you up to speed on that. And tomorrow, it'll be the United States and Cuba for the World Cup Championship. Pedro Alvarez, Pirates' #1 pick last year, 5 home runs, 12 runs batted in, hitting .280. Brad Lincoln, 2-0 in 3 appearances, and look at that earned run average, 1.89. So good luck to Team USA, and hopefully they'll take home the World Cup. Now, the interesting thing about Team Cuba is they have their absolute very best players playing for their national team all the time. The same team that you may have seen at the Olympic Games, who won the gold medal there in Beijing last summer. Actually lost the gold medal to Korea, but won it 2 Olympics ago. They have their best players out there. Meantime, for the United States, a lot of the best up-and-coming players, young players, will be playing the best pros that Cuba has to offer.
Yeah, but Cuba's just a small island. Yeah. Give them a little bit of a break, you know.
Yeah,
it's
but
the entire United States.
Don't kid yourself, Bob. They can play baseball.
Well, no, I'm not kidding myself. I know that, but got to catch them a little bit of a break.
Luis Cruz flies out. Now, let's look at this as a scenario. If Cuba was open, you would have every Major League Baseball team, including the Pirates, with representatives down there tomorrow.
Oh, sure, yeah.
With contracts in hand.
Well, just like you have in the Dominican Republic and Venezuela and everywhere else in Latin America. I mean, it's a hotbed for baseball talent, and Cuba will be open one of these days, and there will be a bunch of Cuban players in the big leagues when that happens. There is no doubt in my mind about that.
0-1 to Paul Maholm. 1 ball, 1 strike.
A big subject across the river the last couple of days, the G20, was how they were going to, I guess maybe not.
They were going to institute an international draft, I thought. Maybe they didn't get around to that.
I don't think that's going to happen.
2 pitches outside. Aroldis Chapman is a Cuban defector. He recently defected while the team was in the Netherlands. He jumped over to Spain. He's been living there. And just this week, Major League Baseball declared him a free agent. Bob, he's a left-hander that throws 102. Strike 3 called. And the left-hander Randy Wolf strikes out the other left-hander, Paul Maholm. Through 5, Dodgers 3, Pirates 1. we check out tonight's game summary brought to you by A&L Motors. Manny Ramirez 2 for 2, an RBI double. Mark Loretta also 2 for 2 with an RBI double. And Andy LaRoche 1 for 2. A solo home run, 3 runs on 7 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run on 4 hits for the Pirates. That's tonight's A&L Motors game summary. Now there's a vintage jersey.
Yep.
Old collar.
Steve Blass special. So this guy is left-handed and throws 102. You're telling me about?
Aroldis Chapman. I mean, it's going to be like, you know, eBay for a pitcher. There's just going to be a big bidding party for this guy.
So he's going to sign probably over slot for a first-year professional.
I think you can pretty much put that in the bank. Ronnie Belliard, third baseman, takes a strike, 2-1. Top of the 6th inning, Paul Maholm right in this one. Just a 2-run deficit at this point. And Belliard chops it foul. Yeah, so we hope the United States takes care of Cuba in the World Cup Championship game tomorrow. Be nice to see Pedro Alvarez have an impact on the outcome. He has had an impact on the outcome in many of those games so far. And this pitch is high, ball 3-2. Here comes the payoff. And Belliard ropes this one down to third. Nice play. Andy LaRoche, and he's got it.
More good defense tonight. Both clubs.
Ball was a rocket hit down there. LaRoche solid with the backhand.
Hard hit, 2-hopper. And once he's got it, he knows he's got a little bit of time. Just set his feet, make sure he gets off a good throw. A little crow hop.
One out for Mark Loretta. He'll take a strike.
You know, when they came up with the term crow hop, why did they pick the crow? Could have been any kind of bird.
Well,
but they went with a crow.
I don't know. I would say a bunny hop, but it sounds too childish.
And it actually looks like a bird hop. Could have been pigeon hop. Maybe they needed a one-syllable bird. Yeah, that's what it was too. You know, crow just has one syllable.
Robin has 2 syllables, so it's no good. Blue Jay, 2 syllables.
Yeah.
Forget cardinal.
I guess there's not too many one-syllable birds. Unless that could have been real generic and just said bird hop.
Could have been a finch.
Finch hop, yeah. That's a good one.
Let's see, are there any other one-syllable?
I like the American goldfinch too. That's one of my favorites.
Yellow-bellied sapsucker doesn't work. To Cruz. Takes it off the grass. And Loretta is out 6-3. So 2 men are down. This is our last home telecast of 2009. And
got to show the pierogies.
Yes. There's Hannah.
I think somebody in a red hat is going to come on strong. Look at him split them right up the middle. Right up the middle. Hannah went wide. That's what happened. She got that big turn out in center field, went wide, left a little room, and Saul came right through. You can't do that. You got to close the door.
Well, Hannah was drafting, but she just couldn't get around.
You got to close the door. You can't go wide like that. That big center field turn.
So Hannah has won 20 times. Oliver Onion has won 20 times. Now Saul has won 20 times. And Hannah has won, and Chester has won 19 times.
Isn't it weird the way that comes about?
2 home games left.
Now who's won 19?
Chester, Cheese.
I'll bet you the Cheese wins tomorrow. You want to bet?
No, I don't. I'm not taking that one. Unless you'll take the field and I'll take Chester. 3-0 pitch. Strike 1. That's fair. 3 for 1. I'll give you the field and you give me
no
Cheese. fair for me.
The real bet is going to be Monday. Who's going to win Monday's race?
Who will be the
champion
of the pierogi race? 2-out walk issued to Russell Martin. Here's Orlando Hudson, the number 8 hitter in the order. He was intentionally walked back in the 4th inning, and then in the 2nd, flied out to McCutchen. McCutchen's been busy. Pitch to the switch hitter is in there for a strike. Now that's a busy radio booth. See, there's Greg Brown on the left, Steve Blass on the right, but the guys behind the scenes, the real brains of the operation, he's wearing yellow. That's Ryan Brown right there. It's Greg Brown's son. That's the brains up there. Cruz will toss to Young, and that'll do it. We'll head to the 6th. Coors Light 6th inning. Time for tonight's Coors Light Freeze Cam. Watch the play. Andrew McCutchen made on a sinking liner off the bat of Juan Pierre. Outstanding. Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frostbrewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. And here he is to lead off the bottom of the 6th. Pirates trailing 3-1. Randy Wolf delivers, and McCutchen swings and skies this one down the right field line. Foul. But tomorrow afternoon, Fan Appreciation Day, Monday, the final home game of the 2009 season. And the Pirates are out on the road for 7. 4 with the Cubs, including a day-night doubleheader on Wednesday at Wrigley Field, and then finishing up with the Cincinnati Reds October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. McCutchen, one of the players, trying to finish strong. Pirates taking game 1 of this series last night, putting the Dodgers celebration, any kind of celebration, on hold. Their magic number for a postseason berth is 1. Either an Atlanta loss or a Dodger win would guarantee them at least the postseason. Now, the Braves already won today, and Juan Pierre will take care of this one, and McCutchen is out. So the Dodgers would have to win tonight in order to secure a postseason berth, but their magic number to win the West is 4 over Colorado. Joe Torre looking to take his team to the postseason for the 14th straight year. That would equal the mark set by the Braves' Bobby Cox. To left field. Manny Ramirez retires Andy LaRoche.
As good as the Dodgers are, it would be an unheard of collapse for them not to make it now. Too many good players. Good pitching.
A very deep bench, too.
I think the bullpen is what, really, in my mind, sets them apart. I believe St. Louis and Philly also have very good teams, but there's some question marks as far as their bullpens, especially the ninth inning situation. I don't know if Franklin is really a premier closer. I have a hard time with that. And I know the situation in Philly is up in the air when it comes to the ninth inning.
Well, you look at some of the guys they've got that Joe Torre can call upon, and the guy at the back end, Jonathan Broxton, still a youngster. His mid-20s. Hong Chi Kuo is a good setup man.
Look at this.
George Sherrill, they got him from Baltimore.
Top to bottom, they got strong bullpen.
Jeff Weaver. James McDonald, another guy who the Pirates saw last night, who was going to have some success in the big leagues. Ronald Belisario, pretty good last night, too. Guillermo Mota. And Ramon Troncoso, another guy they count on. Swing and a miss, strike three, and we are on to the seventh inning. Garrett Jones down on strikes. Pirates trailing the Dodgers. Pirates Fantasy Camp. Put on your own big league uniform and get baseball instruction from the pros January 17th through the 24th in Bradenton, Florida. Join Kent Tekulve along with Hall of Famer Bill Mazeroski, Bob Friend, former Cy Young winner Vern Law, Bill Verdon, and many other stars of the 1960 Bucks, celebrating the 50th anniversary of the World Championship team. To make reservations, 412-325-4744. 412-325-4744. That makes a great gift, too, by the way. Send the baseball fan in your life down to Florida.
Nice little vacation that time of year. Get out of the cold weather. Hit Bradenton for a week.
Randy Wolf takes outside 1-2.
Randy Wolf got a little red beard going, doesn't it?
It's like a Might be in that family tree. You never know.
He's got a little pirate in him.
Randy Wolf from Canoga Park, California. Lives up in the Hollywood Hills. That's what happens. You know, John Garland last night, I don't know if we mentioned it or not, I think we did on radio, but he was in an episode of the Bernie Mac show. There have been a lot of different Dodgers over the years because they're right there in L.A., not too far from Hollywood, appearing in movies and in television. Wolf strikes out.
Manny Wood. Now it's Manny Berg.
Manny Berg.
Sounds like a sandwich.
Get some fries inside that sandwich. A little coleslaw.
Yeah, Manny Berg with onions.
Here's Rafael for a call. 1 for 3. I think a Manny burger might have a lot of ham in it. There's a chopper down to third. LaRoche gloves, throws, and Furcal is out. 2 away. LaRoche been pretty solid down there, third. There it is.
They are.
That is the world famous Permane Brothers sandwich.
A lot of folks here tonight. Probably making a whole bunch of those down underneath.
Juan Pierre absolutely robbed by Andrew McCutchen in the 5th inning. Tripled back in the 1st and popped out to Luis Cruz at short in the 3rd. Right there, you can get him in the ballpark. 1-1. I like the old school place in the Strip District. That one.
Well, there's a lot of great places to eat down in the Strip District, as there is here at PNC Park. That's one of the things about this ballpark. You know, you talk about a great place to see a ball game. There's some fine food here all over the place.
Dodgers go down in order in the 7th. It is stretch time at PNC Park. 3-1. Back here at PNC Park with Bob Walk, I'm Tim Neverett. Everybody's gearing up for Sky Blast and Foreigner in concert after the ball game. These guys are going to love it. Bottom of the 7th inning, 3-1 Dodgers. Ryan Domit leads off.
The weather is cooperating so far. A little bit of a mist in the air, but Certainly none of the rain that we had for so long all day.
If you're hot-blooded, you'll be all right.
I really thought that the defense was going to have a tough time out there tonight, but compared to last night, in fact, the Dodgers looked real shaky with the gloves. Gave the opportunity for the Pirates to score some runs, and the Pirates stepped right through that open door.
Ryan Domet, a 4-pitch walk. Hong-Chi Kuo loosening up for the Dodgers. And here is Lastings Millage. Time for tonight's Mercedes-Benz E-Class Attention Assist of the Game. And it's provided by Lastings, giving us a little thrillage in the village for Call, trying to stretch it to 2. Gunned out.
That's just one of the fine plays that we're talking about tonight when we're talking defense.
That's tonight's Mercedes-Benz E-Class Attention Assist of the game. The 45th outfield assist by the Pirates. They lead Major League Baseball in that category.
I think about the footing when Millage was trying to set up to make that play. I'm sure the ball was soaking wet by the time he got it in his hand, and he was up to the challenge to make that assist.
Cut a quick visit with his left-hander. Dodgers pitching coach.
The Dodgers have another left-hander in the pen, getting ready.
Millage tries to bunt, misses. Throw back to first base. Domet safe.
Loretta would have been on the bag. I think they would have had it out. Millage trying to push that bunt, came up empty.
Throw to first, and Domet gets back.
Loretta saw Millage try and push that bunt past Wolf, and so he had to honor that. He came way off the bag, and then there was nobody for Russell Martin to throw the ball to.
Millage hitting one up in the air to left field.
No, he didn't.
It's going to hang for Manny Ramirez.
Didn't come close. I was fooled on that one off the bat. I thought that had a chance. And heck, Ramirez actually came in to make this catch. Right there, I thought that it at least was going to be a warning track.
Had a good swing on it.
Well, I'm no Andrew McCutchen, that's for sure. When it comes to judging fly balls.
Yeah, but he gets to do it from field level. We're several stories above home plate.
Yeah, maybe I saw that with a little hope and also.
Joe Torre coming out. He's coming to get his left-hander, Randy Wolf, and he'll bring in another left-hander, Hong-Chi Kuo, to face Steve Pearce. Our Columbia Gas 811 call to the pen has been made. I'll tell you more about Hong-Chi Kuo
you by Southwest Airlines. Want to see what a real airline is like? Go to Southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on.
Back here at PNC Park. Time to get ready to dance. He's
doing the twist.
A little excited. He's just loosening up for Foreigner later on. Here's Hung-Chi Kuo from Tainan City, Taiwan. 27-year-old left-hander.
That opposition batting average. Doesn't give up much, does he?
Minuscule. So here's Kuo in relief of Randy Wolf. Wolf went 6 1/3 innings. Gave up 4 hits, 1 run to the moment. Book still open on him. He walked 1, struck out 5. And the first pitch to Steve Pearce misses inside. Pearce without a hit. He lined out to right and grounded out to short. Back in the second inning, he hit one right on the screws to Matt Kemp in right field. Bottom of the 7th, a 3-1 Dodger lead. 1 man out, Domit the runner. Last March, the Dodgers were part of an international tour. They went to Beijing, China, and played an exhibition game there at the Wukusong Stadium. And the Chinese national team was there, and a big feature was Hung-Chi Kuo from Taiwan. He accompanied the Dodgers there. And he also has the distinction of doing something with the bat. He hit the first home run in Major League history by a Taiwanese-born player. 12th of June 2007 against the Mets. Hit a home run. Two and 2 to Steve Pearce.
The way they've dominated the Little League World Series for decades, I'm surprised that no one has ever hit a big league home run from there. Been a big baseball country for a long time. He hit the first one ever. Huh?
First one ever by a Taiwanese-born player in the major leagues. Made his big league debut in 2005 as a September call-up against the Colorado Rockies. Hung-Chi Kuo. And Pearce follows him back. Pearce went deep against the Dodgers last Tuesday at Dodger Stadium. His 4th home run of the season. Still sitting on that number 4. Wouldn't mind another one here. He represents the tying run with Ryan Domit at first. Count full.
How many different nations you think have hit home runs? Big leagues.
A lot more now. Well, I do know this. The Dodgers have had players from 22 nations represented on their roster this year.
This year?
I believe so.
Oh, it can't be this year.
There's a line shot to third, and Belliard throws it, gets away. Domit unable to move up.
He had a chance at it, but I think being down by 2 runs, he made the right decision. Belliard trying to make a real quick throw. Like Loretta has a hard time getting to the ball because Domit coming back on his belly, he just can't reach that far.
Delwyn Young. The Dodgers had a left fielder from Taiwan a few years back they thought would be the left fielder of the future. He never panned out. Spent too much time in AAA, and ultimately they gave up on him. I believe he's playing back overseas now. But I thought he might have been the first guy to get an opportunity to be the first Taiwanese-born player to hit a homer in the big leagues. Here's Young. Fouled it back.
That one really had a solid season before this slump, hitting left-handed. Right-handed, not quite so much. And next year, that's going to be something for us to watch. Can he even out those switch hitting stats of his?
1-1 pitch, and Young fouls it away. Just to clean that up, the Taiwanese-born player that Dodgers had was a guy by the name of Chin Feng Chen. Name just came to me, and he was a very good player, but just couldn't stick in the big leagues. But Hung Chi Kuo has been their most successful player from Taiwan.
Well, you see the numbers. It's close to 100 points. I mean, that's significant. You know, not that you can't live with that, but I'm sure that Delwin would like to get that right-handed batting average up 250 or something would be satisfactory.
Well, prior to the game today, John Russell said that Young's struggles are a combination of not playing every day and a sore back that he's been experiencing. He had been playing every day for a while, but then with the sore back, wasn't playing every day, playing sparingly. Now trying to get back in that everyday lineup and getting back into a groove. Two and two to Delwin Young. 2 outs, Ryan Doman at first. 3-1 Dodgers, bottom of the 7th. And that one gets away and down to second goes Ryan Doman.
An opportunity to cut that lead in half. Just need a single now. Wasn't that tough a ball to block either. Anticipation by Doman, taking off immediately.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Hung Chi Kuo has his sign from Russell Martin. Now the payoff pitch. Ball 4. The tying runs aboard in the 7th. Luis Cruz, who doubled in the 3rd inning, is 1 for 2. So we'll see what Luis Cruz can do in a clutch situation here. Pirates need a run. They need 2 runs. They take one at a time. Rick Honeycutt dialing short distance out to the bullpen. And Cruz, strike 1. It's funny, we see the phones and all the dugouts, but in Wrigley Field in the home dugout, the pitchers stay in the dugout. They just yell down, "Hey, you, get up."
It used to be like that in a lot of places. When I was playing, it wasn't uncommon at all. A lot of bullpens were just down the foul line, and if you had a decent sized dugout like Cincinnati or the Astrodome, someplace like that, the bullpen was the far end of the dugout. Just sat there and they'd haul her down.
Sherrill warming up, another left-hander. They got him from Baltimore. He's been a big pickup for them. 0-2, and Cruz slaps this one out of play. Like the Pirates have a little work going on.
Mahomes on deck, so they have to pinch hit for him if this inning continues.
Johnny Bautista is up. And John Russell said the entire bullpen, in spite of what happened yesterday, using the bullpen to basically be your starter and relievers, is everybody's available. There's a ground ball up the middle, a base hit. Dolan rounding third. He'll score an RBI single for Luis Cruz, and it's 3-2. Just the second RBI for Cruz this year.
He's making the most out of this opportunity. A couple of hits tonight, and that one a pretty big one. 2-out RBI late in the ball game to bring you within one. That's pretty clutch.
And that puts tying run at second now.
Robinson Diaz will be seeing if he can tie it up.
Tony Beasley saying go home.
Wild pitch and a walk, and then that set up the single up the middle.
Robinson Diaz came up with a big pinch hit double a couple of games ago, and this one goes to the backstop, and both runners move up. Now the tying run at third and the go-ahead run in scoring position at second base. And Hong-Chi Kuo will see his night come to an end.
He has those great numbers, but his pitch like it tonight.
So Joe Torre.
Martin not exactly throwing any roadblocks up either on any of those pitches, though.
Well, Torre relieves Kuo of his duty on Columbia Gas. Ball also helping to catch Matt Kemp off the bases there. Striking out Loney, freezing him. Struck out 3 in his 2 innings of work. Didn't walk anybody. Veal pretty excited. Getting win number 1. Our Geico quote book. John Russell on Donnie Veal to do what he did in that part of the game. I think that was the key to the whole game. I think doing what he did really set the tempo for the rest of the game. It's our Geico quote from manager John Russell.
I think what we really saw is what he is capable of when he gets command of his pitches. He was able to throw some strikes with the breaking ball, and I mean, we have talked about it many times that he has got a quality arm, and if he can ever get consistency of his control,
he has
be as good as anybody.
Second pitcher Diaz has faced this inning. Hong-Chi Kuo goes just a third of an inning, 1 hit. Both base runners his responsibility. Book closed now on Randy Wolf after Domet scored. Numbers on Sherrill. So a 3-2 ball game, bottom of the 7th. Pirates have the tying run 90 feet away. 1-1 to Diaz. 2 balls, 1 strike. George Sherrill has tossed scoreless relief in 24 of his 26 outings since joining the Dodgers. He's allowed only 2 runs in 24 1/3 innings. It's been effective.
Great bullpen.
And a strike is called.
Not too many guys come out of the Dodger pen that don't have an impressive stat sheet. What do you think? Was this a little up? Yeah, nah, that was right the mask. Right the mask, belt high.
I don't know if Diaz liked it very much, but now he's down to his final strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sherrill delivers. Now it's full of 3-2.
This ball, I think, was outside a little bit. It was the same height as the one before. Can't quite see where the plate is. I think he caught that off. And as he caught it, he moved it a little bit, which anytime you see a catcher do that, he's telling you it wasn't a strike, so I got to move it into the strike zone.
Ball 4, second walk, or third walk of the inning, beg your pardon. And now the bases are loaded for Andrew McCutchen. Joe Torre wanted this situation.
Well, he's not used to seeing this. He's used to that bullpen coming in and doing a great job. Anything but a great job here in the bottom of the 7th. And we come up with the big hit.
Well, McCutchen is 0 for 3. Bases full, 2 outs. Ball 1. Delwyn Young at third. Luis Cruz at second. And Robinson Diaz over at first. George Sherrill facing Andrew McCutchen. And a strike. McCutchen, with the bases loaded this season, has walked 4 times. And 5 for 9 with 18 runs batted in with the bases full. Takes a strike. 1-2. George Sherrill, 6 feet tall, 230 pounds.
Defense straight away everywhere. Infield, outfield.
This one down the right field line, but foul.
McCutchen, one of the advantages he has is he's able to use the entire field. They can't bunch up on him somewhere. They got to spread the defense.
Folks all dressed up, ready to be here a while. Sky Blast coming up, 4-er. 1-2. And McCutchen pops it up right side. Mark Loretta gives it a look, and it's in the seats. Another chance for McCutchen, hoping to provide a Sky Blast of his own here in the 7th. Nice catch.
All right, get rid of the hat.
Well, he's a Dodger fan. It's the 7th inning. Isn't he supposed to have left by now?
No, we're not supposed to be a high five.
LA, they leave in the 7th inning.
I don't care what kind of catch he made. He got a Dodger hat on. Yeah, they leave early.
Why he was so surprised. They don't make many catches like that. This one down the right field line, but foul. Biggest at bat of the game right now for the Pirates. Russell Martin will go out and talk with George Sherrill. Sherrill out of Memphis, Tennessee. Three to 2 Dodgers, 2 down, bases full. And Andrew McCutchen trying to come up large for the Bucks. John Russell certainly wouldn't mind.
Just a single. That could be too greedy. Ground ball back through the middle.
Here comes the 1-2. Up the middle, a base hit. Young scores. Cruz around third. Pirates have the lead. It's 4-3 on a 2-run, 2-out single by Andrew McCutchen.
He's pretty much a machine with the bases loaded, isn't he? What's that make him now? 6 for 10 with 4 walks
and 20 runs batted in.
Wow.
So on the season, McCutchen now with 54 RBIs. Nearly took the head of Sherrill off. 3 runs in the inning for the Pirates.
I wonder if Joe Torre had it to do over again, would he not bring in all these left-hand pitchers to throw to all of our right-hand hitters?
Nothing and 1 to Andy LaRoche. He homered back in the 4th.
He wanted to keep Delwyn Young hitting right-handed, I'm sure. But then after that, you've had Cruz, Diaz, and McCutchen. Of course, in Diaz's case, they could have double switched, sent Moss up there. Maybe would rather have had Diaz hit than Moss. Those are the decisions he has to make.
Belliard will force McCutchen at second, but the damage done. 3 runs in on 2 hits. There were 3 walks in the inning. And now, as we go to the 8th inning, the Pirates have their first lead of the ballgame. By our friends at Aspen Dental. 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded, and Andrew McCutchen comes up big with a base hit up the middle, giving the Pirates a 4-3 lead. That's our play that made you smile from our friends at Aspen Dental.
And Paul Maholm pitcher a record for the win now for the Pirates. He could even his record at 500. That put him 9-9, correct?
It would indeed.
That would be a nice accomplishment.
It's the 14th time that Maholm has worked 7 innings or more. So about half of his starts, he's worked 7 innings or better. Here's Denny Bautista.
Pirates got 6 outs to get. And Bautista will go for 3, and then you would guess that Caps would finish off. Lefty in the bullpen right now as we speak. Guessing that's Dematre out there.
So Bautista bounces the first one to Manny Ramirez. Ramirez having a decent night, 2 for 2. Yep, Phil Dematre getting ready to go. Ramirez had a ground rule double back in the first and a single in the 5th, walked and scored in the 4th. One of up 2 walks given up by Mulholland. Mulholland ended up with 1 strikeout. Raises his season total there to 119, leading the staff in strikeouts. 3-0 to Manny Ramirez. Pirates with a 3 spot on the bottom of the 7th. Now lead it 4-3. 4 runs on 6 hits. 3 runs on 7 hits for Los Angeles. And Manny takes a strike. Well, Manny certainly walks to his own beat, doesn't he? Matt Kemp
say that.
Strike 2. I mean, the way that he forced the trade from the Red Sox last summer, he basically just didn't feel like playing, just stopped playing, and forced Boston's hand. And the trickle-down effect was Jason Bay going there, Brandon Moss coming here, Andy LaRoche coming here, among others. 3-2, a little bit low, ball 4, and for the second time, Manny Ramirez has drawn a leadoff walk in this game. Did so back in the 4th inning. He'd end up coming around to score. So now the tying run aboard in the top of the 8th. Matt Kemp without a hit. He's 0 for 3. Pair of flyouts and a fielder's choice. Kemp takes ball 1. Good way to record that. Got all the gadgets.
How many cameras do you think are in the stands?
Too many to count. Chances are, if you have a phone, you also have a camera.
That's the thing. How many people are here? That's how many cameras are in the stands.
35,605 tonight. One. 1-2. So if you figure, I don't know, let's say 30,000 cameras in here. Let's say 5,605 don't have them. There's one. Can't make a call on that one, though. Can't make a call on that one either.
Oh, see, those are the cheap cameras.
So the only people on the TV cameras you can call are the gypsies in the trailer.
That's all you need to talk to. There's cameras with people on it. There's robo cameras all around. There's everywhere.
Here comes the 2-2 to Matt Kemp. Fouled away. Pirates would like to see Kemp hit one on the ground to LaRoche or Cruz. Ramirez, the leadoff walk. He's at first base. And the 2-2. Got him. Sits him down with a pitch over the outside corner, and Kemp doesn't like it. Big strikeout for Denny Bautista, 1 away.
Take a look at the location. Watch the glove. Not much movement that time after the ball hit it. So that's what you like to see. That glove just staying right there.
Here is Belliard Following it back, strike one. Get a look at the location again.
Nice soft hands by Doman.
A bunch of umpires sitting there in the front row. Imitating fielding Cobra. Punch him out. 0-1.
Everybody likes to make a nice strike three call.
Most everybody. A couple umpires that don't.
I remember Dutch Rennert. He used to end up on the grass. He'd be off the dirt by the time he finished his call.
That's through into left field. And now the tying run in scoring position for the Dodgers. Ramirez at second. Ronnie Belliard a base hit. Belliard now 2 for 4.
Belliard, the little thorn in our side tonight.
Here's James Loney. He's going to pinch hit. He's the regular first baseman. He's going to hit for Loretta. And Loretta comes out of the ball game 2 for 3. And Loney, a left-handed hitter, going up there against the right-hander, Denny Bautista. And maybe this is an effort by Joe Torre to force John Russell's hand and go to the left-hander Dematre, who's been warming up.
Let's see what happens. Yep, you're right.
So as Loney is announced, Russell comes up the dugout steps, and he will get the left-hander Phil Dematre to pitch against James Loney. Our Columbia Gas 811 call to the pen has been made again. Pirates at Pirates.com. Browse the largest online selection of authentic team gear, including official caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop the Pirates.com shop. And you could be the best dressed in your neighborhood. Good looking gear on display tonight. Showing their support for the Bucks. Big crowd too. 35,605 on hand. A little earlier today, weren't really sure what the weather was going to do for this game, but it's held off for the most part. Here's Phil Dematre, make his third appearance against the Dodgers this year. His first two didn't go as he planned, giving up the first pitch walk-off home run to Andre Ethier in that 13-inning game, and then Ronnie Belliard got him for a home run the next day. But here, James Loney facing him with Manny Ramirez at second. 1 out. And the pitch, a ball, 1-0. Phil Dumatre would love a little bit of redemption here.
Yeah, he'd like a little payback. Roll a double play. Get things over facing just one hitter.
Pretty close, but missed.
Smidgen, missed by a smidgen.
Is that an official unit of measurement?
Smidgen. That's a metric.
Is that on the civil service exam?
You might not be familiar with it. It's a metric term.
Based on tens, I guess. 2-0. And there is a strike at the knees. 2-1.
Right at the knees. That's some paint right there. That one at the knees. That would look like he's right on the outside corner to boot.
Here comes the 2-1. And Loney takes strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes in Dumatre. Just a strike away from getting James Loney out. Loney, another one of the homegrown Dodger players. He and Andre Ethier, 2 of the stars of the outfield. Stretch and the 2-2. All the way. Matt Kemp, Andre Ethier, James Loney, Blake DeWitt.
We were talking last night about the Dodgers. Their heritage has always been all about their minor league system. For years and years, one of the very best, decades after decade, one of the very best minor league systems in all of baseball. They pretty much dominated the Rookie of the Year awards for years.
Now the count full.
They got away from that for a while, started relying way too heavily on the free agent market because they're, in a big market, got a lot of money to spend, but that didn't work out very well for them. I think they've gone back to investing heavily into their minor leagues and paying off again for them.
Steven Jackson is up for the Pirates. He's been on a bit of a roll lately out of the pen. So Dumatre, big pitch here. Payoff. In the dirt, ball 4. The bases are loaded. So Dumatre comes in, faces one batter, Loney.
Steven Jackson is your ground ball guy in that bullpen. And that's what you're looking for here with the bases loaded and 1 out.
So Dumatre doesn't get it done, and Steven Jackson will be called upon to get it done. So the bases are full. From the top of the 8th inning, 1 man is out. Ramirez goes down to third base, and Dumatre exits. Runs in 10 innings of work, and since being called back from AAA Indianapolis on the 7th of August, Jackson has surrendered 3 earned runs in 18 innings pitched. That's an ERA of 1.5, and he lowered his season ERA from 4.37 down to 3.1. While we have a moment, let's catch you up in case you missed it. CC Sabathia of the Yankees won his Major League Best 19th game. Yankees blanked the Red Sox 3-0. Adam Lind, a walk-off solo home run in the 10th inning for the Blue Jays. They beat the Mariners 5-4. And Ichiro ejected in the 5th inning for arguing strikes. First ejection of his career. And the Cardinals lead the Rockies 3-1 in the 4th inning. With the win, they will clinch the National League Central Division. So there'll be some champagne corks popping in that Cardinal clubhouse later tonight to hang on to that lead. Well, here's Andre Ethier, and you saw where Hill had hit the walk-off for Toronto. How about Ethier? Leads Major League Baseball with 6 walk-off hits this year. And he will pinch hit against Steven Jackson with the bases loaded in the top half of the 8th inning.
Guess you could definitely say he has a flair for the dramatic. And this is his kind of situation then. 8th inning, bases loaded. See if Jackson can get him on the ground. A 2-hopper to Delwyn Young. That's what we're looking for.
Little Jackson, first pitch. Just outside. Ethier leads Major League Baseball since the start of the 2008 season with 9 walk-off hits. His 6 walk-off hits this season, the most by any player in baseball since 1974. 2 balls and no strikes. Not the time to get behind. And Jackson trying to come back.
Well, maybe Ethier will be a little too aggressive right now. You would like to see him, try to be aggressive and pull an outside pitch. And maybe that 2-seamer that's going down and away from him. 2-0 might get him in the mood to try and pull something away.
Popped him up, foul ground.
Stay in here. Come back. Come back.
LaRoche can't get it.
How did that ball jump back in the air?
That was strange. Looked like it was in his glove.
Did he flip it out of his glove? As the ball pops up, he tries to catch it a second time. So, surely it didn't bounce, or why would he do that? Oh, he had it caught. Yep, he flipped it. He caught it, and as he grabbed the railing, he flips it out. I guess that's what you can't see. We're blocked by his body, but that's the only explanation on why that ball came out of his glove.
A new life for Ethier. Pops it up again, almost in the same spot, but that'll go a little bit too far for LaRoche.
Maybe we'll be able to see it from this angle. We're not blocked out by the players. Wow, that's just crazy. It just came out of there like it was ejected.
Weird. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Ethier. Ethier's still up there, could have been out. Bases full of Dodgers. And Jackson's 2-2. Now the count is full, and Jackson must come in with a strike here. And Ethier knows it. Biggest pitch of the ball game coming up. Ethier 0 for 4 yesterday. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. And he ties the ball game walking in a run. So the bullpen
was fabulous yesterday.
And failing here in the 8th inning. Each man coming in. Dumatre walked the bases loaded when he walked Loney, the only man he faced. And now Jackson comes in to face the pinch hitter Ethier and walks in the tying run.
Bullpen pitched all 9 innings yesterday, and Gave up just one run.
Has to be very frustrating. Still one out. Here is Orlando Hudson. Strike call. So a new ball game. The Pirates battled back in the 7th to get 3 runs. Andrew McCutchen had a 2-run single. Luis Cruz driving in a run to give the Pirates the lead, and they've given it back here in the 8th. Jackson gives up his first earned run over his last 10 innings. 0-2 to Hudson. .246 with the bases full. Just outside. Hudson laid off that one.
Yeah, as a pitcher, you get the ball back and you just, how did he not swing at that?
Jim Thome is out on deck. That's one of the late season acquisitions. He came on board September 1st, just in time. 1-2. And again outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, we talked about the depth of the bench, and Orlando Hudson at the plate, and you need a pinch hitter. You run up Andre Ethier. Prior to that, you run out Jim Thome, one of the game's all-time sluggers. 2-2. 3-2. And nothing doing in the Pirates bullpen, but Joe Kerrigan making his way to the phone quickly.
JR giving him some instruction.
Here comes the payoff again with the bases full. And he walked it. Steven Jackson has walked in 2 runs, and now the Dodgers lead 5-4 as the bullpen has imploded in the 8th. Three straight walks, 4 walks in the inning.
Joe Kerrigan going out to the mound. He's going to try and buy a little time. We saw there that it was just the pitch before that the phone call was made to get anybody up. So if they want to make a change, they're going to have to take a little time off the clock.
And now with the bases loaded and 1 out.
So Kerrigan's still out there. He's trying to stay on the mound as long as he can. Not sure who that was that they got up out in the outfield.
Well, the guy at the plate is the guy you got to be concerned with. He's 0 for 10 this season against the Pirates, and that includes his time with the Chicago White Sox. Pirates and White Sox played each other in interleague play this year. 564 career home runs, 12th on the all-time list. He's 5 behind Rafael Palmeiro, 39th on the RBI list, 1,562.
This would be a great time for that ground ball. Thome does not run well at all.
He is a double play candidate.
He sure is.
2 for 19 with a walk in 20 pinch hitting appearances with the Dodgers. And he swings and misses, 1-1. Virgil Vasquez is the pitcher loosening up. So the worst case scenario this inning, or at least one of them, has occurred with 4 walks, 3 in a row. And Jim Thome at the plate. And he rips it down the line, foul for a long strike. Well, on September 1st, Jim Thome struck out for the 2,307th time. and he passed Sammy Sosa for second on the all-time list, and he trails only Reggie Jackson now in strikeouts. Jackson struck out 2,597 times in his career.
I might be able to get him one closer right here.
And the other Jackson, Steven Jackson, trying to get the job done. Here's the 1-2. 2-2.
You can see he's done a lot besides strikeout. Look at all those home runs and RBIs for that matter. Over 1,500.
Line drive right field, a base hit. Loney will score. Ethier coming around, he scores. And the Dodgers add on in the 8th. It is 7-4 Los Angeles, and a disastrous top of the 8th inning for the Pirates.
Still just one out also. That ball up there a little above the belt. That's not going to get you the ground ball very often. You're a sinker baller. You got to go downstairs.
John Russell made a beeline for the mound as Steven Jackson, who had been doing so well since being recalled, the USC Trojans look to rebound from a shocking upset loss last week to Washington when they host conference rival Washington State tonight, 10:30, college football right here on FSN. Well, the Dodgers have the touchdown on the board. It is 7-4 as the top of the 8th inning has seen 3 pitchers, Bautista, Dumatre, and now the 4th, Virgil Vasquez on the hill. Osmus pinch running at first for Tomei. And Vasquez deals a strike to Rafael Furcal. Furcal, the 8th man to hit for the Dodgers this inning. At second is Hudson. And a strike call. 0-2. Bautista goes a third of an inning, gives up 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, struck out 1. Dumatre didn't record an out, walked a man. Jackson didn't record an out, walked 3, and gave up a 2-run single to Jim Tomei.
Feel bad for Maholm.
He was the pitcher of record until this inning.
That would have put his record at 500 on the year.
Just missed on the inside corner. And Mulholland gave him 7 solid innings tonight. Scattering 7 hits, giving up 3 runs. Was removed from the game with a 4-3 lead.
It was a little shaky that first time through the lineup, but settled down, did a pretty decent job tonight.
Andrew McCutchen with a 2-run single in the 7th. Gave the Pirates that 4-3 lead. He has made a spectacular catch too. Made that back in the 5th inning off the bat of Juan Pierre, where he robbed him. Sinking line drive to center, and one of the best catches by a center fielder oncoming to take away a line drive right at him. 1-2. Now it's 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. 1 man out, 2 men on. For a call single in the 1st, he's rolled 3 ground balls to the left side since. Ball 3, count full. And that is the 45th pitch this inning. Bautista, Dumatre, Jackson, and Vasquez have combined for 45 pitches.
It's pretty amazing the contrast from one night to the other as far as our bullpen.
3-2, popped him up left side. Andy LaRoche over to the railing. And think about how the inning might have changed had that ball not popped out of Andy LaRoche's glove when he went after the Andre Ethier fly ball in the Pirates dugout.
It's a game changer.
And he had it in his glove, and somehow the ball got a life of its own and jumped out. The 3-2 pitch from Virgil Vasquez to Rafael Furcal. Steve Pearce, a diving stop. They'll get the 1 at second. That's it. Nice play by Pearce.
Yeah, saved another run for sure. And cut it out to boot. That was a nice play. That ball was going into the outfield. There's sometimes where a first baseman will take a ball away from the second baseman, but that was not the case there. It was going to be a hit.
Pearce was not letting that ball get to the outfield.
Good job by Cruz. He knew he didn't have the out over at first base. It was going to be iffy at best. So he decided just to hold on to it, take a little look over at third. See what was going on over there. Sometimes you'll catch a runner rounding the bag.
For call at first, Hudson down at third, 2 out. Juan Pierre, 1 for 4. And this one, foul ball. 0-1 the count to Pierre. Game's over this way. Just looking at the watch, this top of the 8th inning has taken 35 minutes. A swing and a miss. I remember the.
Oh, you look at it this way, like a real nice game for a pitcher is 100 pitches. Well, we've thrown half that many just in 1 inning.
Amazing.
That takes a long time to throw that many pitches. That's half a game.
Even he can't believe it. He's looking for an out. Virgil bluffs to third, fakes to first. 1-2 to Juan Pierre. Pirates will have Jones, Doman, and Millage due up. Virgil Vasquez out of UC Santa Barbara. Led the Gauchos in strikeouts his last year there. One ball, two strikes. And the pitch to Pierre. To center field, shallow. Out goes Cruz, in comes McCutchen. And the inning is over after 52 pitches in more than a half hour. And he says, hey, let's get to the bottom of the eighth. Let's get some runs. Troncoso comes in to replace Scott Ober.
Another guy with solid numbers coming in out of that Dodger pen. That's why I give them the edge. If they're as good as everybody else, they're as good as the Phillies and as good as the Cardinals and in every area, and I think they're better in the bullpen.
Ryan Domit greets him with a base hit to right. First hit of the night for the Pirate catcher. So 1 out and 1 on now. Domit walked and scored in the 7th inning, and he reaches base again here in the last of the 8th. Lastings Millage looking for a hit. You know, the other thing too, Bob, about the Dodgers, not only the bullpen, but you're having a couple of guys in the regular lineup who are having career years. And oftentimes, that is a very successful ingredient to any winning recipe in Major League Baseball. And you can have the bullpen and you can have some offense, but if you're having guys like Ethier and like Kemp who are having career years, and you add in bats like Ramirez and experience up the middle, and they're very strong up the middle. And then you look at that guy at the back end of the bullpen, Jonathan Broxton. I mean, they do have a pretty good recipe in Los Angeles.
All the ingredients. They really don't have a weakness when you look at their club. It's very hard to put together a team like that.
Well, when they do go to the postseason, they will go to the playoffs for the 3rd time in the last 4 years, and for the 4th time in the last 6 seasons. They'd be the only National League team to accomplish that. So Troncoso ready to pitch to Lastings Millage, and he delivers strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. And Millage to center field. Kemp's got it for the out. 2 down. And Millage 0 for 4. And up comes Steve Pearce. He is 0 for 3. Pearce lined out to right, grounded out to short, lined out to third. Seen his average dip down to 201. Breaking ball, strike 1. Ramon Troncoso, another one of the very young and talented arms that the Dodgers have farmed.
I haven't looked for a while, but for a little while, Pierce's numbers were really huge different. You know, we were talking about right-handed, left-handed. He had really struggled against right-handers, and what success he has had been off the lefties. Just now I brought that up, I could look at it real quick here. Yeah, even though he's hitting at, what is it now, 201, he's hitting 277 against lefties.
For Troncoso, this is his team leading 71st appearance. And Pearce belts this one to center. Ranging back toward the track is Kemp, and he puts it away for the last out of the 8th inning. On to the 9th. Dodgers 7, Pirates 4. FSN. Penn State recruit Paul Jones leads the Still Rocks offense as they look to score a win at home against Seton LaSalle. McDonald's high school football presented by Trib Total Media Thursday at 7 on FSN. Watch the Central Catholic Upper St. Clair game the other night. Looked great. Wasn't a good night for the Panthers of Upper St. Clair. Central Catholic looks really good.
As always.
Here's Manny Ramirez facing Virgil Vasquez. Takes strike one. Ramirez, a couple of hits, couple of walks, 2 for 2. One ball and 1 strike to the dreadlocked one. Vasquez got that one by him, 1-2. Top of the 9th inning, nobody out. Manny Ramirez, a 1-ball, 2-strike count. There's an imposter. Vasquez coming within a foot of Manny. Manny doesn't like that.
What the Dodgers play in interleague this year? Well, never mind. Manny, I don't think was there for that anyway.
2-2 pitch outside. No, he was suspended.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't really suspended. He was, because he still played. He just had to play in the minor leagues, which I thought was kind of funny. You get suspended for steroid use, but you can go and play in the minors.
Yeah, that was his rehab. Came back and played in Albuquerque for the Isotopes. And he walks for the 3rd time tonight.
Now, how about a Dodger Red Sox World Series? What do you think would be his reception back in Fenway?
Deafening.
That would be something to see.
Let's see the interleague opponents: the Angels, Rangers.
No, they were in the West.
The A's, Seattle, and they had the White Sox.
That'll be an interesting. King of the Gypsies just brought up. How about the Torrey going back to Dodger Stadium, or not Yankee Stadium?
Yeah.
Of course, I guess it's a different Yankee Stadium than he.
It is. It's not the same place.
Same name, though.
More home runs have been hit in one season there than at any other ballpark. Yankees set that record the other day. And Don Mattingly, who is one of the quintessential Yankees. Hard to even look at him in another uniform other than the pinstripes. He was the best player on some of the worst Yankee teams that they had in the 1980s, where they just weren't very good. But Mattingly excelled. Donnie Baseball. Oh, 2. That's up high. Kemp's got to pick up his helmet. Incidentally, Mattingly will be Steve Blass's guest on the radio pregame show tomorrow. Greats of the Game segment.
It's nice to get the helmet off as a pitcher.
Well, as a pitcher. As a hitter, it's a different story. One and 2, nobody out. Ramirez at first.
If you're going to make a purpose pitch, you want to get somebody's attention. If the helmet comes off, you know you got their attention.
That'll go foul. Did you put a little scratch mark in the side of your locker every time you knock the helmet off?
No.
You didn't keep track of that stuff?
I didn't come up and in very often. I didn't have a very intimidating fastball. I tried to keep it down so nobody would notice it.
He tried to throw a stealth fastball. Here's the 1-2. Well, how do you throw a fastball that nobody notices?
I don't know. I always try to figure that out.
And if you had figured that out, you might still be pitching.
Yeah, the hitters always seem to notice it, though.
Yeah, they will. And Kemp down to LaRoche. And they got two. Nice play, Andy LaRoche. They go around the horn for the second time tonight.
First one was a little difficult. This one a little easier. That line drive, short hop, made him have plenty of time.
Pitcher's best friend. Elwin Young's done a nice job with the pivot tonight. Here's Ronnie Belliard. Strike one. And this one driven to left. And this one is gone. A solo home run. Ronnie Belliard, his 10th of the season and his second against the Pirates, and that doubles up the Bucks. It's 8-4. A 2-out home run for Belliard. Ball just ducked inside the left field foul pole.
And not a whole lot of doubt as to whether it was going to have the distance or not. Just hoping it hooked. But you can plainly see that ball was fair.
Second time around for James Loney. He entered for Mark Loretta in the 8th inning and walked and scored. (8-4) Dodgers, 2 outs, top of the 9th. Pirates took game 1 last night. Won it 3-1. This is the final night game at home of the regular season. Tomorrow, 1:35, and then Monday, the final home game, 12:35. And get to take a look at left-hander Clayton Kershaw tomorrow afternoon. He'll face another young pitcher, Daniel McCutcheon, for the Pirates. 3-1 to count. And then on Monday, Hiroki Kuroda will face Zach Duke. Kuroda from Japan got to meet the Japanese Prime Minister prior to the game last night. There's a ground ball right side, and Delwyn Young knocks it down, but Loney will be safe with a base hit. Pierce came way off the bag trying to get this one.
It looked like Virgil was going to be there. Virgil's very active out there on the mound. We've seen that. He can jump off in a hurry. If Delwyn could have came up with it, he had an out. Or at least he had somebody to throw to it first. Sometimes on balls like that, the pitcher will become a spectator by the time he realizes that somebody has made a diving catch and it's too late to cover first.
Andre Ethier pinch hit for Russell Martin in the 8th. He too walked and scored. The 8th inning, the big inning for the Dodgers and the bad inning for the Pirates. 4 runs came across.
Interesting to see how many pitches Mulholland threw 7 and how many the bullpen has thrown in 2.
Probably similar.
Yeah.
Similar number.
Sure the trailer's fast at work on that for me.
2-0. There's a strike. Well, this is our last telecast working together. We'll be working on radio the rest of the year, back and forth, but Greg will have the remaining telecasts. So a public thank you from me to you and to our crew this year at PNC Park and also on the road.
There's 2 more TV games. We head to Chicago. Chicago is King Gypsy territory. He is in his realm when we get to Chicago.
Pete Tolman, our producer, he is the King Gypsy, in case you're wondering, and we won't see him much in Chicago. Strike 3. There goes Ethier down on strikes. Last call for the Pirates. They trail the Dodgers 8-4. He's 11 hits for the Dodgers, 4 runs on 7 hits for the Pirates. It'll be 7, 8, and 9 to up Delwin Young, Luis Cruz, and a pinch hitter. And then Sky Blast and Foreigner, but prior to that, the big, strong right arm of Jonathan Broxton.
Broxton's numbers on the year, they are very good. Paul Maholm, by the way, in his 7 innings through 99 pitches, the bullpen, I can't remember exactly, in the 76 pitches in 2 innings. 99 and 7, 76 and 2. So, a lot of props to that bullpen last night. They did a phenomenal job, but tonight a different story.
Well, Broxton is on, and there's a new left fielder, Joe Torre, getting Manny Ramirez out of there and putting in Jason Repko as a defensive replacement in the bottom of the ninth. So Broxton, just 25 years of age, from Augusta, Georgia, originally lives in Waynesboro. Facing Young. Delwin 0 for 2, a walk and a run scored. The pitch. Strike 1. One time during Broxton's career, he was a starter. Dodgers thought he would excel there, but quickly they learned that he would be better pitching at the end of games rather than at the beginning.
What they did with Gagne. That worked out pretty well for him for a number of years until Gagne hurt his arm.
When Gagne would come into a game, the scoreboard would read game over.
Yeah. He was that good for a while there anyway. And Broxton is having similar success, not quite that level yet. Not too bad, that's for sure.
1 and 2 the count.
Very hard thrower, as you can see. He gets up in the upper 90s.
Well, Broxton had a big save last year, an inning and a third, closed out Game 3 of the division series against the Cubs, sending the Dodgers to the championship series in the National League for the first time in 20 years. 1-2, and Young strikes out.
98. Just throw it by him.
Now Luis Cruz. Cruz having a good night at the plate. 2 for 3, a double in the third inning, and then a big RBI single to bring the Pirates within 3-2. That was in the 7th inning. The Pirates would get 2 more runs when McCutchen would have a 2-run base hit to put the Pirates ahead 4-3, their only lead of the ballgame. Brandon Moss has a bat. He's out on deck, and he'll come up after Cruz, who takes ball 1. And Cruz into the glove of Rafael Furcal. 2 away. Pirates down to their final out tonight. And here is Brandon Moss. Moss pinch hitting in the 9th spot. Moss 1 out of 3 last night. Drove in a pair of runs. He drove in the game winner in the 3rd inning with a 2-run single, scoring LaRoche and Jones. Ball that just fell right in front of Manny Ramirez. Manny running about half speed. Well, it might have been full speed for Manny, but it looked about half speed. And the ball fell in front, and the Pirates ended up getting 2 runs. And a tough night for Paul Maholm. He deserved better tonight.
Thought he was going to win number 9 and bring that record dead even. Didn't happen for him.
0-1 pitch. 0-2 as Broxton fired it by him again. 98.
Yeah, he's not trying to trick anybody now.
Bucks down to their final strike.
This will clinch a postseason berth for the Dodgers. They will at least make it to the playoffs, even if they don't win the division, which is highly unlikely.
Yeah, that's a great catch by the ball boy.
Colorado losing tonight. They are behind. 7th inning, 4-3.
That's Gabe down there. He made a nice grab. He made a diving play in the game last night. Remember?
Kind of a falling play out.
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah, but you know,
it was a fall.
You got to give him
a dive.
He's a ball boy. He made a diving play.
Okay.
Broxton's 0-2 to Brandon Moss. Just missed.
Ball sounded a little outside.
I hope they got that, because that's funny in the baseball world. But the score not too funny right now. 1-2, and Moss strikes out, and that is the ball game as Jonathan Broxton comes in to pitch a perfect 9th, and the Los Angeles Dodgers are heading back to the postseason as they clinch a playoff spot. Joe Torre equaling Bobby Cox